New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And we're back after some technical difficulties. And we're talking about this Knicks loss because the Knicks last night lost to the Indiana Pacers 125-111. But I'm not really stressing about it because listen, we didn't have any really big men. We were missing three bigs. We're missing Mitchell Robinson. We're missing Isaiah Hartenstein. And we had Taj Gibson starting at center, and it didn't bode well. But we're going to talk about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So just let's get to it, man. I'm going to introduce you to my guys. First and foremost is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building. I'm taking this loss with a grain of salt. Knicks are missing all their bigs. Injury ridden right now. Can't really make a full assessment of the team at the moment.
Yes, can't make it full sense. Is anybody out there? I feel like the stream isn't really. Let's see. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, let's go. All right, cool. Of course, you already know too. We already have the Latin assassin, Deadspin contributor, Lee Escobedo. What's going on? What's going on, Lee? I know you had a great week.
It was wild and crazy to see my story on Jimmy Fallon. The first one mentioned too. It was great that Jalen Brunson has at least read it. I hope he's read it because I made a hell of a case for him to be the best point guard in the NBA, most notably on his playoff explosions, both with the Mavs and the Knicks. He is a well-deserved title that I hope he takes to heart and motivates him to eventually become MVP.
Absolutely. Shout out to Lee. And of course, you already know the woman who is always going to be looking closely. I know she was looking closely because we had the debut of Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic today. So shout out to our ex-D1 college baller on the squad rookie of the year, Ebony. What's going on, Ebony? Ebony, you muted.
You're muted.
I am muted. There we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Like always, I'm gonna give them grace. One game is not enough to crucify anybody. But I'm going to, like I said, that guy Jalen Brunson is slowly creeping into that favorite player conversation for me, and not just the favorite Knick, because his post game interview is kind of how I am. Like, we can't wait to be good. We can't say we're going to be good at full strength. We have to play good now. And I so respect him for that because no excuses. We got to get it together. We got to play with who we have,
Yeah, that's why I love him, man. He has that winner's mentality every day, all day, no excuses. Oh yeah, we playing with four people. I have a feeling if we had four people suiting up, he'd be like, "So, but how can we win?" Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we can figure it out. Like, that's when you want to hit that three with the 4-point play in the fourth quarter, my brain went to, nah, he's still fighting. He ain't done. He's looking for that comeback. That's where my brain went. But we gonna talk about it. We'll talk about Brunson and everybody else later. But I just want to get into the nooks and crannies of this game, and we're gonna start with Ebony, man. Ebony, I know you have your binoculars out. What did you see last night when the Knicks played the Pacers?
I saw struggling on both ends, that's for sure. We couldn't really hit a jump shot early. We couldn't hit a jump shot for a while for a lot of people. Burks got hot at the end, but what we didn't do was we didn't get anything that we normally would struggle pre-trade. Is we didn't get in much transition points. We didn't make our defense turn into offense. And yes, we didn't have our centers, but a lot of that was the guards whooping our behind off the dribble. You had TJ McConnell. We had TJ McConnell. And Deuce, I was surprised at his defense yesterday also. Cooked.
Deuce was.
I'm like, I was for sure. Like, I'm excited to see TJ and Deuce go at each other, and it didn't go the way I thought it would. To be honest,
did not.
To be honest, I was pretty shocked. I was real shocked by the results. But yeah, they got to get my main concern with this trade was the defense. We swapped a lot of offense for defense. And no, yes, they're gonna say it's just Grimes, but in a sense it's Grimes and McBride. Because when we do become full health, that's who's going to lose the minutes. That who's going to be the biggest loser out of this trade. Even though he's playing well, he's going to get back into situational minutes once the health starts improving.
Mhm.
So now instead of when people staggered their stars, when they staggered their stars against us, and we have Grimes and McBride, it's gonna look a little different when it's Burks and Bogey. And you've seen some of that yesterday. I thought every shot the Pacers took were gonna go in. To be not gonna hold you.
Well,
And they got good looks also while doing it. We
you
gave up a lot of good open shots again, and I thought we got past that for a minute. And yesterday kind of looked like regression. I understand we were missing people, but it was scary a little bit.
I still think you have to put some things in a grain of salt. I think this is a good time to bring up the stat sheet because yes, yes, there was some guard play that was a little bit shaky defensively, but to me, if you're going to measure the problems that we had by biggest to smallest, to me the biggest is still the center position, and you can look right here at Miles Turner, 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Miles Turner didn't do that when he played us the first time. Hartenstein was starting.
Miles Turner, his points weren't really. He didn't really big ball us. Actually, I was going to get. He's involved in my bro pick of the day actually
What?
because he Precious was when he can catch the ball. Precious was literally taking the ball out of his hands. Same thing for Josh Hart. They were making him. I'm like, he's soft. He's soft under there. He was supposed to have 50 yesterday with the lineup we had. Miles Turner was supposed to have 50 and 20 yesterday. But he didn't. Like that's all I'm saying.
He was the Pacers leading scorer, and a lot of times, like of course he had some threes made, 4 from 9, 3. But then he had some threes made. I'm 4 for 9.
And
I'm
he
sorry.
hit in the mid range.
But
that top of the key, that's his spot. That's where he kills at, and that's where he killed us at. Was on the top of the key, either from the 3-point line or that free throw line.
He was 9 from 9 from the field though. Like he was not. He didn't miss the whole night. The shots he made, he just literally just turned over and put the ball in the basket. There's nobody when you do this 7 feet tall. When your next guy is guarding you was 6'9" and 6'8", there was no resistance. He shot 100% from the field. Like that's the center problem. That is directly because we are just undersized. You're not doing that with Hartenstein and Mitch. You're not going 9 for 9. That's ridiculous. And a lot of it too is like we would miss. They would just run down the field, give it to Miles Turner, and we just turn around, fuck it. Or like if there was somebody in front of him, like what are they gonna do? He just pretty much just dropped the ball over. Every tall person on that team abused our bigs. Every single one. And not to say Precious didn't fight, because Precious was really good. He was the best chance we had that defense. He had blocks. Like Precious, like he is soft. Like Miles is soft on defense because Precious was 6 for 6 as well, right? Like Precious is not scoring 6 for 6 on Anthony Davis. Like he's just not. But he's scoring 6 assists on Turner. And he had 3 blocks and 2 steals. But he did what he could. But still, it was like we still need the size. The center position was still a big deal for us, in my opinion.
I think it would look a little different again. This is what I said, grace, and this is why it wasn't the center position that I was really looking at, because I seen Precious fight in there. I seen him defending. I seen them in their face. It's just a matter of better offense because again, he's taller than us. So all he did was shoot over us. He didn't really bully ball us. He just shot over it.
I know he's
that's
the point.
Soft.
Though.
Yeah, he's just soft. That's what I'm saying. As a big man of his caliber, I expected yesterday. I came in that game expecting Miles Turner to kill us. Like I did expect him to come in there and straight dominate. And that's not what I saw. That's not really what I saw. I saw more domination from the guard aspect, to be honest. I seen and And it all came from the perimeter when you think about it. Even Siakam, most of his points when he did get to the rim, he started from the outside. He didn't post nobody up like he wasn't on a consistent. He was starting breaking them down from the outside.
You know what's more
That's
evidence that it was a big man issue? Our rebounding. This is the lowest amount of rebounds that we've had all season. 32 rebounds.
yeah.
That's a big man issue. We were
And I
way
said it's
too
gonna
small.
look different if Sims is there. That's why I said I think this game will look different. We had one more big. That's it.
Yeah.
If Sims here, the rebounding would help, but that wouldn't justify the other issues that we had. Is what I'm saying.
Now, I'm
we
not
look
saying
bad
there-
on that perimeter.
I'm not saying that we didn't have other issues. I'm saying
That's what
yes, there was guard issues. I saw dudes getting cooked. Tyrese Halliburton was definitely having his way, but I still feel like Tyrese is Tyrese. He's going to be getting his anyway. But Miles Turner on a regular day isn't killing us. He's not going to be the leading scorer. He was the leading scorer for the Pacers. You know what I mean? It was like straight up pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll. Then it was like, all right, well, we're gonna try to
miscommunication on the pick and roll, Jay.
And then it's like he's so tall, we're gonna try to double up on the center because he's so big, and then they just kick it out to the corners and they shoot threes on us. It's like that whole. I feel like a lot of the issue started with that sequence in general. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I know me and Ebony got like a little mini debate for a second. But I don't know who wants to go next and talk about what they saw today.
All right, I guess I'll go. I think a lot of the issues with the Knicks, yes, they were lack of big man, getting dominated on the boards, which is something the Knicks normally don't have happen to them. Knicks are usually the team dominating the other team on the boards, and the lack of size definitely showed in this game. Yeah, Miles Turner going 8 of 8, 9 of 9 from the field. If Hardesty was on the court, Mitch, Sims, any one of them, that wouldn't happen. But because we didn't have a big to actually match up with them, he was able to shoot over everybody and get his points. And I think a lot of the issues on defense stemmed from the Knicks not having a big man. Yeah, the penetration from the Pacers guards hurt as well. But again, I think if the Knicks had a big man with them, they would at least deter the Pacers from attacking the paint so much. They wouldn't just throw up every shot in the paint because they know that there's no shot protective. If Hardesty or Mitch is in the paint, they're not throwing up half of those shots. They're going to be deterred and force an extra pass from those guards. So the fact that they couldn't stop penetration, then on top of that, they had nobody in the paint to actually be a threat with shot blocking. The Pacers just took full advantage of that.
Yeah.
And overall, from what I've seen, Burks, Bogdanovic, I see why the Knicks brought those guys in because I did see some positives from them. Burks, the scoring ability, him being able to get his own shot at will pretty much, especially come off the bench going against other teams' second units. Bogdanovic with the sharp shooting, and he can create his own shot as well. So I can see why the Knicks brought those guys in. But at the same time, I felt like because during this streak where the Knicks have been injured, the Knicks have been moving the ball around a lot, moving the ball around, trying to get the open shot and things of that nature. But I saw that with Burks and Bogdanovic being added to the rotation now, that ball movement kind of stopped. And it became more so one-on-one, especially in that fourth quarter. And I guess that's kind of a worry, but I'm guessing over time, as they become more acclimated to the offense, maybe they'll start moving the ball around more and trying to, get open shots and things of that nature. But I felt like in the fourth quarter when the Pacers were running away with the game, the Knicks just resorted to one-on-one ball, and that's not productive, especially when you're trying to get back into a game. So, but overall, like I said, I'm taking this loss with a grain of salt. I'm not going to make a full assessment until we get our guys back. This is a game where the Knicks had no bigs. Pacers took advantage of that. And that's about it. And it kind of upsets me at the same time because when it comes to teams in the NBA that, that I want the Knicks to beat their ass, besides the Heat.
Oh, yeah, the Pacers on the list, for sure.
The Pacers is on that list, too, because for whatever reason, that team rubs me the wrong way. And
whatever reason, big reason.
I can tell you one, Ryan. When they replayed Brunson, when they focused him in his eye, when they punched him in his eye, they replayed play as a good player, a guy. Like that, I thought that was
Yeah, and it's just that team tactic where it's like when the Knicks face that team, I want to bust their ass, but then it kind of sucks because in all the games the Knicks have faced the Pacers this season, not one of those games the Knicks had their full roster.
Yeah.
Not one of those games.
Yeah.
But I already know when the Knicks have their full roster, the Knicks is busting that ass. But it is what it is. I'm taking this loss with a grain of salt. Knicks have a lot of guys out. No bigs definitely affected them. So yeah.
No, I agree with you. I agree. Go ahead, Belly. Sorry.
Tibbs is a part of that generation of coaches that really prioritize the offense and defense moving through the center position. Those guys like Doc Rivers and Larry Brown, Stan Van Gundy. Tibbs is from that same ilk, and I think the center position, not having anyone to even operate positionally on the floor where Tibbs needs it to be, especially on defense, being able to guard the pick and roll, being able to slide in the drop coverage. To utilize Precious Achiuwa in that role is a major deficit. You're starting at a deficit. So I think that's why you see not just the dribble penetration from the guards, but Miles Turner shooting 100% from the field. You have no one who can even go out to the perimeter and guard a guy who's 6'9", 6'10". Precious Achiuwa can't guard 3-pointers from Miles Turner, and that opens up the floor for their drivers as well. So when it's like Mike D'Antoni not having a point guard, right? The whole system runs through it. Tibbs' entire defense runs through the center. So to not have anyone that he's used to that knows his system well and knows in terms of decision making, to not have that, I walked into this game honestly thinking it was going to be a loss because Indiana only shoots 2 times the shots. It's either at the rim or from 3. Very little mid-range action goes on from them. So I was like, it's going to be really difficult for us to protect the paint with such an undermanned roster, and also with Bogdanovich playing a lot of minutes.
Hold on a second. This saying the audio is bad, guys?
I think so.
One person in the chat said it.
Yo, I don't know what's happening right now. This is annoying.
Oh, it says
it's good now.
Is it just me?
It says better now.
I don't know. Well, say what you had to say again. I don't know what happened.
It says straight now. It says straight now.
I ain't do nothing. It just does. The computers be putin', man. I don't even know.
They compute. All right, Cam.
I'll extend that center conversation that was going on also on offense. Not having Isaiah Hartenstein, who's really as a starter has cemented himself as the secondary playmaker as well. A lot of those hockey passes are coming from him, and to not have him at the center position tonight, that's why we only had 16 assists, which in the modern NBA is atrocious to finish a game with 16 assists as a team. So we were really missing that center position on offense and defense crucially. And with the way that Indiana plays basketball and how efficient they are offensively, how much of a genius Carlisle is on offensive end of things. He's the opposite side of Tibbs on offense. We don't get smacked. So it's not a surprise that Lesbian Shaft at the point guard position carved us up. And TJ McConnell, who doesn't even look like an NBA player. I thought the guy was one of those guys that directs people to their seats. My dad came onto the court and balled out. It made me second guess Deuce McBride's on-ball abilities. I was like, my dad getting cooked over here.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's not even, you know what, too? We were missing a lot of shots, too. We were missing a lot of shots.
We started the game 1 for 7.
Yeah, but you know what it is, too? Because we missed a lot of shots versus the Pacers the first time. The Pacers are a team that moves the ball a lot. And the Knicks actually play defense. I mean, despite not having a center, the center kind of derailed us, but we actually rotate better than most NBA players. I feel like the effort we're putting in on defense is taking away our legs on offense when it comes to hitting those open threes. Because it's not like we're taking bad shots. We were missing a lot of open threes, like a lot of them. So I felt like that happened the first game, and I feel like it was more of that this game as well. So I feel like that's something that could be an issue for Pacers teams in general. But
why I said it was scary? Because a lot of the flaws and things that we thought we got past in 2004 with the 2024 Knicks, we seem to have gone back to that we've seen it going back to that last game, and I get it, just one game. That's why I said it's scary. I don't want to see it continue. It was the lack of assists. Granted we missed, we went real one-on-one heavy a lot during that game. It was spots in that game all through the game where we got real isolation heavy. So I don't want to ever go back to that type of style of basketball. I like when the ball is moving on the string. And that's why I just said it was scary. I get it's one game. I'm not going to
Yeah.
overreact. It's just these are my worries.
But what I saw though is I saw a little bit different. Like, okay, the fourth quarter, I definitely saw ISO ball. I saw Burks cooking. Interestingly enough, I was looking at Burks' stats. His isolation play, he's in a 99th percentile in isolation play, which is crazy. That's why I was joking with you guys beforehand. I was like, the hell is this kid Michael Jordan? How is he the 99th percentile in isolation play in 2023, 2024? But a lot of what I saw today too was Jalen Brunson has been giving the ball up on double teams a lot more. And it didn't result in anything. And I think that's a lot of those little assist numbers came into play. This was my argument last year when I was talking about what's first, chicken or the egg. You saying Brunson doesn't have high assist numbers, but are people just not making shots? I feel like a lot of that was happening yesterday. Josh Hart was on. I remember it was specifically Josh Hart specifically was scared to shoot. When he did shoot, clanked it, and it got to the point where the Pacers didn't even respect him. There was a lineup on the floor when it was like Brunson, Burks, Bojan, and Hart. The Pacers gave everybody respect except for Hart. They would close out aggressively on Burks. They would close out aggressively on Bojan. And when it came to Hart, they just let him. Hart would get the ball at the top of the key, and they would just stand there. They would just do something.
Yeah, I wasn't really talking about Brunson though, in the sense of just being Brunson. It was everybody. Like it was the ISO. It was not very much. And that Josh only took 2 3-pointers. It felt like more, but he only took 2.
No, I didn't feel like he was scared to shoot the whole night.
But you get what I'm saying? He only took 2. So like it is what it is. What it is. It may those 2 felt like more, but that's the only how many he took during the game. And to me, the assist numbers tell the story. That's for everybody. That lets they out assisted us by a lot. We had 10 assists at, I think, halftime. What did we finish with? Well, how many assists
16.
did we finish with?
Yeah.
Huh?
16.
16. We had 10 at halftime and finished with 16 at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's the tell of the story. That's why I said it was scary.
Yeah. To me, assist numbers tell half the story. To me, numbers tell half the story, and the other half is what are you seeing? Because if you just go by the numbers, then you think nobody passed the ball. But sometimes, so it's like there's teams, like for example, we're a half court team. So because we're a half court team, all the half court teams start off with like lower assists. Like even when you're looking back at Toronto, I was looking at assist numbers like a month ago. Toronto was leading the league, or like top 5 in the league in assists, bottom half of the league in offense. If you looked at the Toronto Raptors, you would think they were some offense machine because they're top half in the league in assists, but they just run a lot.
Yeah, Jay, I'm not a numbers person, so I'm watching the game. I'd rather look through my eyes. I look at the numbers to see what I'm seeing. I already know that's what I'm seeing. Now, the difference and why I said it was scary is because, yes, they were moving the ball. Yes, they were getting open shots, but everybody was literally standing around the perimeter. The other stuff that we've been doing of the moving and the picking and things, that was non-existent. So that's why I said it was scary. Right. It's not the missed shots. The other stuff why you get easy shots, why you get easy assists, how we were getting easy assists, that was missing yesterday. That's all. A lot of stuff that when we struggle was missing. Yes, our plan BCs, they weren't there. When we don't have it offensively, we had plan Bs and Cs that got us to where we struggle and still got the W. That wasn't there yesterday. That's all. Is the worries that I had. I seen them yesterday. A lot of them.
But
I'm just going to watch more.
No, I feel you. It's still a grain of thought though. It's still you got 2 new players who are coming in the game. You're shorthanded. We don't have Hartenstein who. There's like a lot of factors, you know what I'm saying? You got Todd Gibson started. Todd Gibson looked like he had asthma yesterday, though. Like he was like he couldn't do a damn thing. Like so you can't go too hard on last night's game. You really just can't. There was a lot going on between 2 players the two players are trying to get new, not knowing any of the plays. Even in the post game, they were saying, "Hey, they taught us two plays because we just got here. Like we only know two actions." Like, that's what they said. So they were playing off of two actions and instincts, which is why in the fourth quarter you probably just saw it's like we only know two actions. We ran those two actions, and Burks, you do ISO, or Brunson, you do ISO. Like when you have more time to play together, there'll be more to incorporate. That's why I'm saying you can't really take that and be like,
That's a great point, Jay. That's a great point.
like we can't be like, this is the team. Pull the alarms. Like this stuff is going to take some time.
So
So-
I understand that. I'm not saying this is what it's going to be, but that's what it was yesterday. You understand? I'm just going to call what I saw, and that's all I can do.
Yeah.
What you did see was very positive. I liked that Bogdanovich looks like he can be the type of shooter that DiVincenzo is.
Yeah.
He can move and reposition. I'm thinking about in playoff terms. Like, what is this going to look like in the playoffs when Randle sits and he comes in? We can have lethal shooting, 5 guys shooting over 40% at all times. That is dangerous. We're the only team that can say that has 5 guys just shooting over 40% right now from the field, from three.
That's a beautiful thing. I love it on the other side. I do. I love it all on the paper on the other side, y'all. I do. I am happy about that. But we know there's two sides. And I'm going to keep explaining that because we can't forget on the playoffs, that side is very, very, very important. You know, the court shrinks, and now we have people to help it, expand. But on the other end, again, like I said, what we were so different in was that everybody on our team could defend on hold their own on that end, and the two people that couldn't, we could disguise because it was really only two. What happens if we have to do this more disguising and the things that we were doing to win ugly games are not there anymore? That's just
you're going way too. Listen, I'm telling you,
that's it.
We don't have.
You can't say we can't get all happy about one side and not think about, hey, there might be
I'm with you.
Other side of the coin.
I'm with you. I'm Mr. Defense. Go ahead, Ryan G.
No, I will say this. I get what Ebony is saying, but from what I saw from Burks about Bogdanovic last night, I feel like it's only one guy they're hiding, Bogdanovic.
Exactly.
Burks is a pretty decent defender where you don't really have to hide Burks. Burks will hold his own. It's only really Bogdanovic you really have to hide, and that makes me feel a bit better about, when everybody comes back, how the defense will look, because there's only really one guy, because Burks can't hold his own on defense.
I also want to say a quick thing. Remember, when we're fully healthy, Ebony, Bogdanovic is going to be playing with Mitchell Robinson. Mitch will be back.
That's exactly where I was going.
Okay.
I'm not worried. I mean, Mitch can clean up 3 guys. Like, he's one of the best defenders.
I understand that.
Every metric.
Yeah, that's what I was going to.
Make him clean that up though, fat folks.
That's what I'm saying. I think you guys are alluding to. We're missing our best defenders on our team. The best defenders on our team are been Mitch, OG, and Hart. So all 3 of our best defenders were missing from yesterday's game, which is why, and in our rebounders, because rebounding was a huge part too, which is why I'm not panicking yet. So you can say, oh no, we don't have this, we don't have that. Like when you're missing your 3 best defenders on your entire team, like that, things like this might happen. So that's why I'm like, we just have to wait.
But this is why I'm saying I understand exactly what Brunson was saying, because we're trying to get someplace. So we can't use these as excuses, because you have to be better in those spots, regardless of who you're playing with. You understand? So this is a time to practice. Like I said, it's nothing to be panicked on. But like we know that Deuce McBride needs to work on his playmaking ability. Like we can't make excuses of that. We know that Deuce McBride has to be better on defense than he was yesterday. We can't make excuses for that. This is all I'm saying. Like you have to play with who's on the court. You just have to. You have to try to do your job to the best of their ability. And that's why I said I mess with Brunson wholeheartedly, because that's how I feel.
You know what though? There's 2 things, right? There's the player winner mentality, and I applaud Brunson. That's why he's one of my favorite players. Like you're supposed to have that mentality. But there's the mentality, and then there's the reality. The reality is we're missing 3 of our top defenders, and our centers are 6'8". Great. Precious has been great. He's been really great. But you're still 6'8" guarding a 7-foot guy. and at the center position. And our other center is a guy who I love in Taj Gibson, who's 6'9", is having asthma attacks, cramps, struggling to hit layups. Like these are the guys who are anchoring our defense today. And less on Precious and more on Taj. As much heart and stuff that you have to have talent on your team. You have to have the pieces on the floor. You can have as much heart as you want. If you're missing integral pieces, you're not going to do anything. You can have as much, you can be Captain Planet of Heart. You ain't winning no games. So like, it's really our conversation should really be who we picking up off the damn the buyout market. Like we should be calling Robin Lopez. That's what she really should be doing. Like
it would look different again. Then I feel like that's an overreaction because it looks different if Sims is there. I understand we were missing.
That's not a overreaction.
Yesterday game looks different with the rebound than if Sims feels better.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, if he feels better. So that's why I said I'm giving grace. I'm giving everybody grace. But the things that I had worries from the trade, I saw some of them in the game. That's what we're speaking about. That's
right. Okay.
That is it.
I hear you. So you know what else? You know what else is too? What I saw yesterday? I saw Devo run out of gas. And that's why I don't like him guarding Halliburton in general, because when he ran out of gas, I can tell he ran out of gas when he went behind the back and the ball just went out of bounds.
Jay, I think he started with a low tank.
Yeah.
I think he started the drive. I think he started the game with a low tank because he couldn't hit a shot in the first quarter.
I agree.
Everything was short first quarter. You start seeing the cut marks everywhere. He's struggling. He's struggling, but it's that time of the year. Just like Kevin Garnett said. Everybody hurt. Some hurt more than others. Everybody tired. You hear about they speak about the rookie wall. That's about this time. When the first amount of times you play so many games back to back like this, so taxing. So yeah, your shots are going to be short. They're human. But he couldn't hit. He couldn't hit anything. Everything was short.
Damn thing.
Everything was short.
Everything
was short. Like we need our guys. We just need our guys back, man. We just need our guys back and our guys healthy so we can kind of figure out what we're gonna do with the lineups. And here's the thing: we have the talent here. We have the talent in the room. This is the non-calculated part of winning championships or going to the playoffs, where you think A plus B equals C. He's like, hey, we have the talent, we have the stars, we have the defense, the offense. Boom, everything should go off the races. The stuff that you can't calculate is who's healthy, who's not, how long are they going to play together, how long is it going to take them to gel. Those are the things that like you can't really quantify for, and you kind of have to just wait and see like how much practice time do we have so they can learn the sets. When is OG coming back? Because he's listed for 3 weeks, but he's listed for 3 weeks. They said we're gonna reevaluate in 3 weeks, but will it be 4 weeks? Like those are the things we're gonna have to. So there's a lot of uncertainty coming up with. So there's gonna be a lot of adjustment period. There's gonna have to be a lot of weird adjustments on the fly.
And this is why I was mentioning you got to play with who's here because things go backwards. So you can't just automatically assume that these people are going to be here. It's good that we can hear that Mitchell Robinson is ahead of schedule and can do stuff. But, the season is unpredictable. And so you can't just use the excuses that we're going to be better when they get here because you got to get them here. That's how I feel about the situation.
Yeah. I still feel like we need a backup center, like another backup center, though.
I think Sims does it. I've seen Sims and Precious do a hell of a job on Jokic. I don't think Miles Turner is better than Jokic, so
I'm not saying because they're not.
I'm not saying.
I'm saying because of injuries.
Yeah. I think we would need another. I don't know if we would need another big though. To be honest,
I think
that
so.
Buyout market.
Because
I think we need like that Marcus Morris style size player. Not him as per se, but that I guess
Hartenstein's Achilles being re-injured put up a flag in my head.
Yeah.
That put up a flag in my head. That's why I'm saying that. Because It's one thing if we're missing Mitch and we're waiting for him to come back, but now it's it's not even can we get health? Can we get Hartenstein back? How healthy will he be when he gets back? Is he fighting through injury? Is he gonna be fighting through injury from now through the playoffs? To me, that's why I'm saying we might need another center, like an actual center, not a power forward posing as a center who's on his way out the league, like an actual center. You know what I'm saying? And I know you really scrunched up his lips at Robin Lopez, but at least Robin Lopez is over 6'9". Like we like Taj is watching Taj was rough. Watching Taj was rough, man. It was rough.
Yeah, he part of my bro picks too.
Oh boy.
But that's the bad part. The good part that I did see, like Lee was kind of alluding to, was having the multiple scorers on the team at the same time, and not having them not being able to load up on Brunson, and Brunson actually having the ability to sit back and watch somebody else cook. Like I liked, like even though it's a little bit too much, it was good to see that. Okay, you know what, Alec Burks can get his own buckets at times. There's gonna be a time when Bojan is a little bit more comfortable. I feel like he was a little bit jittery yesterday, and he missed a lot of shots he would probably usually make. He shot 3 for 10.
Yes.
So I think there's going to be times where Bojan is going to be like, all right, I know confidently I'm supposed to be here, and this is where my shot is coming from. Confidently I'm going to be here. This is my shot coming from. So I feel like there's going to be more offensive help for Brunson, where he doesn't have to be playing 1-on-5.
Yeah, I like Bogey's sneaky shot creation. His like he rocks you to sleep to get to the basket.
Yep.
You know, he reminds me of me playing against my dad or my uncle. Like, yo, how did you just why? Like that was the simplest ever, and you just got me with it. Like, you know, the simple nothing again. Just kind of reminds me of OG on that in that sense where, you know, they're not doing anything extra. You're not gonna see much highlight oohs and ahs. They're just gonna get to where they gotta go and
Right.
probably rock you to sleep while doing it. I think it was Hallie that he took to the basket.
Well,
What-
anybody taking Hallie to the basket though. Anybody.
Yeah, facts.
that
Facts.
man
I
don't play
love when they
defense.
do it though. I love when they do it. He's my guy. You know how did somebody said Josh Hart was there? That's my guy. I can't stand that guy. The lesbian shaft.
Yeah, lesbian.
My man, Wolf.
I
Shouts
think-
out. I can't remember. Shouts out to whoever that was in my space, the pregame space, the basketball and jokes always. Yeah, Carmen San Diego came in there looking crazy. Part of Dick Tracy's cast.
Bogdanovich has some playmaking that hasn't been unleashed too. I mean, as someone who's watched him in Utah and in Detroit, there's a lot of times that the offense was ran through him in both those spots when Donovan Mitchell was at point, and when Cade was out. Like, he has some playmaking ability, and I love the idea in playoff time that if Randle's off, God forbid, or Brunson's off, God forbid, you actually have some off the ball shot creation between Burks, DiVincenzo, and Bojan. That's a nice luxury that in the past we didn't have when it was Elfrid Payton and Reggie Bullock in that 2021 series. It was really rough getting in late time crunch situations, getting a bucket when the defense was clamping up and eliminating space. So having Bojan and Burks we saw Burks in his bag last night. He can score in isolation, especially in mid range. When he gets a little bit to the rim, he has trouble finishing for sure. In the mid range, he is deadly, creating off a dribble. And Bojan, I think, has 3-level scoring. It's definitely tilted toward the perimeter. But yeah, those are great luxuries to have it in close game situations in the playoffs. I'm thinking in the future, this loss doesn't mean too much to me right now.
Nah, definitely. Facts, Lee. Can I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
something real quick on Lee?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with everybody being a scorer. It is definitely a great luxury that we're not used to. So it's gonna take a little time for us to, you know, like, well, not be amazed at what we're seeing. But my whole thing with the offense is I really don't want them to get stagnant because they know, you know, now I can take you or they can take you. You know, I don't want them to be my turn, your turn. I still want them to incorporate the type of movement they were trying to do pre-trade. I hope that continues.
Yeah, I'm thinking more in a 7-game series when the tape is out and you're able to steam to slow down the ball movement and things become one-on-one, which they always do in the last 2 minutes.
Mhm.
We now have multiple options if Brunson's being trapped or doubled, we didn't give it to somebody else, and they can go out there and get a bucket. As a Knicks fan, I've only ever seen like our team having 1 or 2 guys who can do that. Now,
Yeah.
OG, we got like 5 guys who can do that pretty efficiently too.
Yeah. The time we did make the run is the time when we first saw the 40% 3-point shooting unit on the floor at the same time. It was like, well, there it is.
That's a great point. Great point.
There it is. Like, that's when we started seeing the comeback. And it's like, I guess Tibbs is waiting for to I don't know. I don't know what Tibbs was waiting for, because a lot of that game, Tibbs was, I mean, he's fine. You know, he's trying to mix offense with defense, but he always has 2 non-shooters on the floor for some reason. I'm just like, at least have one.
Are you talking about Josh Hart?
Yeah.
He only legit took 2 shots though.
Josh
like
Hart, bro.
I thought he did take more also, but he only took 2 threes.
You know why he took that's the thing. He only took 2 threes, but he was open for like 7, 8 threes.
Mm-hmm. That was precious. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna be open. It's what you do afterwards. You know, what you do after it's out. Everybody was short. He was short. Josh Hart's in his bag in the fast break. Every time, that's when he's involved. That's when that's how he helps us. But if we not turn it, we can't get into the fast break. Like yesterday, we didn't get any fast breaks. Halftime, we had 0 fast break points, y'all.
I know, but half court, he hurt us. I'm like, to be super honest, and being super honest, because I defend Josh Hart too on his program. He hurt us the most in the half court offense. Like it was very noticeable how much he hurt us in the half court offense, because they were laying off him. I was having flashbacks of the Miami series, like that, and even the plus minus kind of support. He was the worst plus minus on the team.
I got a lot of bros about the people that was playing. Y'all gonna be surprised about who my picks are today. I guarantee.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to get to it? Let's get to the bro picks.
We good? Are we finished?
You got any more? I mean, unless anybody has anything else to say about the game.
Yeah, just want to add a couple cents before we get to the broad picks. With Josh Hart, he definitely did hurt the Knicks on the half court offense, but at least when the team is fully back healthy, Josh Hart's going to be only one of those guys where it's like, okay, he can shoot, but there's other guys around him who can, so his impact will be felt more on the offensive side of the ball. So you got to keep in mind that he's forced to play in the starting lineup because of the injuries that we got. So,
but no, what, Ryan?
Unless it's a fast break game, he's going to hurt in the half sets. But
sorry, hold on, Ryan. But no, specifically, I still remember there was a section where they had Bojan, Alec Burks, Brunson. Those were 3 40% shooters on the team at one time. Then they had Josh Hart out there. They just straight up disrespected Josh Hart. They straight up disrespected him.
Miami series.
And they didn't even attempt to guard him. And our offense bogged down bad. And that was I think that was the last time we saw him for the night. That was like in the third quarter, I believe. And then Tibbs took him out. You didn't see him again. But it hurt. Even with the shooters on the team, they just like, nope, we're not guarding him. It's
going to hurt. It's going to hurt with Josh Hart. Definitely, I understand what you're saying. It's going to hurt with Josh Hart if you can't get into fast break, and if you can't get any movement on your offense.
Yeah.
So whenever there's not a lot of assists, I guarantee you that Josh Hart is not making a difference, because he's the one that again could play that Randle area. He's trying to cut to the hole. He's trying to hit that fast break. He wants to get that floater in the midst. He's moving. He's a moving player.
Mm-hmm.
He plays on the move.
Right.
So if you're not doing that, he's not going to be effective.
Yeah, because here's what happens. They will double Brunson, but the man who's doubling Brunson would be Josh Hart's man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else will stay home except Josh Hart's man. Brunson will pass to Josh Hart's man, and they'll just, okay, now do something. And he's at the 3-point line. It's like, all right, you're going to drive into Miles Turner, or you're going to take the shot. And he was in that situation a lot, and they just, I don't know. It was a mess.
The way that NBA is trending, you can't even be a power forward if you can't shoot. Like you're not going to see the floor. So to be a shooting guard and not be able to shoot, I know he does a lot of great things. If this was the 2000s, he would be a very, very competent, well-paid starter. But the way that the game is, the shooting guard is going to be on the perimeter, almost overwhelmingly so. And you have to be able to be a threat in order for the other guys to have easier looks on the floor in terms of your teammates. And he hurts us so much. He also, I think his defense is a little overrated. I think he's a great team defender, a great help defender, plays the passing lanes well. But I've been seeing him more and more this season get cooked in one-on-one situations. And I remember it was like, oh, we got Josh Hart. Like Jimmy Butler shot the worst field goal percentage when he was guarding him. That's phantom to me. I don't trust that in the playoffs this year. And I think that those opportunities you're going to see more with Precious and OG guarding those guys this year with Grimes out. I don't really trust Josh Hart, and man, I don't want to say it, but looking forward to seeing what we do this summer.
Well,
Yo,
Josh Hart is definitely going to be in tons of trade talks. His contract is probably the way it is, so they can match up.
Well said.
Somebody on a contender will always take a chance on him because he doesn't just put his soul. He does other things very well that you need on a contending team. Yes, sometimes he gets cooked, and a lot of times it's because he's height. I think he's only a small forward because of his height. If he was taller, he would definitely be a big. He was literally playing our center yesterday. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but he was our center yesterday at one point in that game. So when we talk about defense, he's not playing in his position. He's not playing anywhere near his position. Yesterday, he was trying to guard Siakam and Miles Turner. I seen a double team of Miles Turner, of Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo. What was those two people doing? You might as well have not even wasted your time.
Because we couldn't play Precious.
That's what I saw yesterday.
100 minutes. Like we need players back, man. Like we need players.
So like we say we're gonna give people grace, but we really don't. Like I get it, he doesn't play well. His 3-point percentage has been off. But I'd rather, to be honest, because I think he turns it around. I think it's a reverse of last season. You know how he was on fire last season until he got to the playoffs, really? I think maybe he's just struggling and then he'll pick it up when in the playoffs. Let's hope. Let's try to manifest that.
Yeah, we need
But I also think that players are just tired right now and they just need to get to all-star break. So I think once we get to the all-star break and get these guys some actual rest and recharge, let's see how he comes out in the second part of the season after the all-star break. But I'm not giving up on Josh Hart yet because last night he got cooked on defense because it was a lot of mismatches. He wasn't guarding a guy like his size. He's always guarding people that's bigger than him. So it's like if he's guarding guys bigger than him, then he's not going to be as effective on defense. And the only thing with Josh Hart is that he just needs to believe in his shot more. I know he's not a great 3-point shooter, but sometimes you need to shoot the ball for you to at least be a threat on offense, for the defense to at least be like, all right, he's going to shoot the ball. And if he shoots the ball enough and he's able to knock in a couple shots, that's going to force the defense to at least respect the shot and then space out the defense more. So with Josh Hart, is more so he has to believe in his shot more and shoot more threes. Even if you miss, just shoot the damn ball because you have to at least provide some type of threat on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep.
Yeah. Or I like facts. I like what Tibbs was doing with Josh Hart too, to try to help him not be just a 3-point being on the wing, but to do the guard to guard picks type to roll him off there and get him in his sweet spot kind of. I like that also with when they do it, because if they don't go with him, now he's in his element of, do I go full speed to the basket or I got some momentum to go to the basket, or do I pull up in here in this free throw line area that he normally likes? So
I noticed a lot of guard to guard picks in general. Like even with Brunson and Devo, they've been doing a lot of guard to guard picks that way too.
They were doing it with Grimes when he was here, trying to get him comfortable in the offense and get him more involved also. So I like to see that more. It's gonna take some time. It's just that we gotta work on these things and not just try to excuse it because everybody's gonna get better. I mean, get back. You gotta hold your own.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. It's funny. It's because it's like real. I don't know. It's just you gotta be realistic. You gotta be realistic sometimes. You can say you gotta get better, but like when the dude is 6'9", guarding 7 feet dudes, or Josh Hart is guarding centers.
Now I'm not talking about that aspect. You know that. I'm talking about G-Eazy cooking us. There shouldn't be no reason.
Well, that's different. That's different.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, now you're talking about language. Now you're talking about language.
This is what I'm saying. I get that we injured, but you cannot excuse stuff like that. That is unexcusable to me.
I hear you.
I knew about Miles Turner. I thought Miles was gonna have 40 on us last night. I ain't even gonna hold you. And I knew that the lesbian Shaft was gonna do his thing. But what I didn't expect, again, was the resurgence of TJ kicking out behind. I thought we was
TJ
kind of
always
putting
kicks
that
out behind,
in
yo.
our past.
Like that dude has something against the Knicks. Because
Yo.
every time he plays the team, he performs well. I don't get it.
There's just people who are him, Ish Smith,